Hi there, welcome back to another texting tour, Dev Diary 86. The Capek and Synthetic Dawn complete patch notes are out. Let's see. All are there, and a picture of all new portraits in the Synthetic Dawn story pack. Now fully textured, look at them. Very nice, very nice. Like from the humans or humanoids to the arthropoids, to the standard AI, to the Tebrit homologue, all are there. I really like them. What is your favorite? Looking at them, probably for me the Terminator human one, or that guy looks fierce. I love that. So, and let's look. What's behind the spoiler? There we go. What is there? Expansion features. Let's look at the expansion features. So, we can play as a machine empire, a robotic hive mind that has overthrown or supplanted its creators, with their own government authority, building civics, traditions, and unique gameplay features. So, it's another game. It's a completely other game. Really, really cool. I love it. Then we've added Rogue Servitors, special civic for machine empires where biological pops are kept as biotrophies and cared for in special organic sanctuaries, generating unity and boosting influence gain and resource production across the whole empire. That is really cool. And you can design the biotrophy as well, so you can really give them extra traits, so you have basically two empires in one. Same goes with syncretic evolution. We're going to go for that later on. Then we have added determined exterminators, like the fanatic purifiers, a special civic for machine empires that grants substantial combat bonuses and rewards for purging biological pops that prohibits diplomacy or coexistence with biological empires. Then the driven assimilators. What are they? They are basically the Borg, a special civic for machine empires that grants the ability to assimilate biological pops into the machine hive mind as cyborg workers. Hello, Captain Picard. You have just joined the driven assimilators. Golden era. A golden era for the Star Trek. The Star Trek mods, right? Then we've added fallen machine empires. Old and unpredictable AI civilizations with special interactions for both biological and synthetic empires. Even more strange fallen empires screwing up the galaxy. Can they also become decadent? We will find out, because fallen empires now can become decadent if they are too successful. And then they fall apart, step by step. So added machine uprisings, an event chain where synths that have not been given citizen rights may start to network and eventually rebel, forming a new machine empire that attempts to overthrow their organic masters. And you can also choose to be the uprising and overthrow your original civilization. That is really fun. You should try that. You should save before it and then try it. And then choose whatever you like. I think it's pretty cool. So, very nice. From a story standpoint. Then new portraits. The 8 added new robot portraits. We have already seen them. For the different species classes, empires will have a robot portrait suited to their species class by default. For example, reptilian robots for reptilians, etc. And audio, 10 new voice packs. And voice packs are moddable. For the advisor, based on governance and ethics, which voice is used is set during empire creation and can be changed at any time from the in-game government screen. So, you can base it on government, you can freely choose it, and you can change it later on if you're annoyed by it. Thank God! Thank God. Then 3 new songs, including a new main theme. You should have heard Synthetic God, right? Synthetic God is a godlike song by Andreas Waldetoft. I love that. I'm really keen on hearing the next 2 new songs. Again, game setup, and the ability to customize your secondary species for assimilator, rogue servitor machine empires, and biological empires with syncretic evolution civic. So that is pretty cool. So you can also, like, as with the machine empires, you can also really create your syncretic evolution secondary species, which is so cool. That is something everyone has wished for, that was a fan of this civic, and there's a lot of people. Especially for if you want to tell good stories, if you want to relive some kind of science fiction story, that would be classic. So you can really choose what you have. You can play Planet of the Apes or something, and the apes will rebel, or whatever you wish for. Really, that is really cool. Like you can make the apes and the humans are their slaves or something like that. That would be cool. Then Ascension perks. Added Shared Destiny Ascension perk gives 50% cost reduction on integrating subjects. Oh, so you can finally dominate the galaxy diplomatically or dominatically, I don't know. So, Synthetic Dawn Utopia added Machine World's Ascension perk for machine empires, allows for planets to be terraformed into a special machine world class. That is really new. I haven't heard that before from the dev diary. So I really think that's cool. Can they transform that just like the Pretherin can? Who knows? Then added Synthetic Age Ascension perk for machine empires gives +2 machine trade points and 33% cost reduction on robo modding, similar to the gene modding things. Really perfect. So you can mod your machines now too. Entire new game. That's what I think it is. Species Rise added a simulation citizenship type that allows synthetically ascended empires, biologically ascended hive minds, to assimilate pops. So hive minds have also been buffed like that, so you can integrate pops finally. And de-assimilation that allows biologically ascended empires to give hive mind pops individuality. So you can go into the hive mind and back, but at a cost. Prescripted empires, new prescripted empires using Synthetic Dawn, Utopia and Plantoids content. Oh, also Plantoids. Yeah, I've seen that in the feature stream, the Groot. You'll see, they are now the Unity hoarders. Then the free features. These are from the Capek patch. You don't need the Synthetic Dawn for that. Important. 5 new achievements. I don't know which they are. I'm not an achievement hunter, but it's great for achievement hunters. Reworked old AI crisis into the contingency, an ancient and dormant AI, similar to like Pretherin and the Unbidden, that can be awakened by the presence of synthetic pops and will attempt to sterilize the galaxy of intelligent biological life, freeing their little brothers, so to say. Reworked genetic modification so that there's now a system of templates that can be created, modified and applied to populations, so you can have sub-races and you can do that, like you can create new species basically under the first species name. So even with xenophobes, you can have basically different species working in your empire, which absolutely makes sense. So you can have like the small ecosystem, like you can basically adapt to all the planets or something like that. That is one of the main things you can go for. Reworked tradition trees for Hive Mind, Devouring Swarm, Fanatical Purifier, and Inwards Perfection empires with better suited traditions and flavor text. Oh, I'm really keen on that. Awakened Fallen Empires now start to experience decadence after being awakened for 20 years. Every month there's a chance that an AE's decadence will increase based on how large they've grown and how many empires they have forced to be subjects. Decadence reduces AE resource production, AE awakened empires, and ship strength, and makes their subjects far more rebellious. Really cool. So if you're in the iron grip of a fallen empire that has gone out of control, you can now wait and you will have a chance to break out again. Reworked or blocked numerous events for hive minds where the text or effects did not work well narratively have been changed so that it works. And that is really cool, of course. It was needed, but it was not a bug. Then species rights. Academic privilege living standard type available to materialists only boosts research output and happiness at increased consumer goods cost. I love that. I love that. Now you can finally have your ivory tower academics dominating the galaxy. Or I don't know if they dominate. Maybe they are just know-it-alls and will tell everyone what they think is best. Diplomacy and subjects. Vessels are not released directly from planet view, can be released from any non-capital planet. You don't need the capital planet now, which is extremely good. Game setup. Galaxy setup option to partially randomize the number of empires, advanced starts and fallen empires. I love randomization, so this is really great. Added a galaxy setup option for crisis strength, replaces the previous galaxy size and habitable worlds scaling. That is now you can finally create Doom, basically. You can create the Doom universe. You can pump up the crisis strength like there's no tomorrow. And added a galaxy setup option for chance of primitive civilizations being generated. I love that. I love that. Combined with a mod where you start as a primitive civilization, this is going to be great. Great, probably. More events. Special hive mind interactions for the Prethrin Scourge. I love that. I've always missed that. It is something... It's so cool. Like, they also add story. Not only like improvements, but they round up the rough edges of the story. Then technology. Added a new technology, glandular acclimation, that unlocks the ability to modify pop habitability type. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Aha. Glandular acclimation. That is really cool. I really want to know how that works. We'll see soon, I guess. We'll see soon. Policies. Added new policies for the treatment of presapiens. They can now be protected, tolerated, allowing for selective purging, hunted for food, or exterminated. That makes sense. I look forward to being like the good guys and protect everyone. Added an initial border status policy. It controls whether borders to other empires are open or closed by default. That helps very, very much. If you're a really xenophobe playing that, everyone will close the borders to you anyways. Or if you're like a fanatic purifier, so you want to close them back. And this does that for you. It's cool. Added a robotic workers policy that controls whether or not robot pops are allowed or automatically disassembled. Old AI rights policy now instead determines the stance towards sapient AI. So that is really cool. Like the kill switch, so to say. But the kill switch can also cause the contingency to happen. So or the AI rebellion. So there's... To be careful. Added a land appropriation policy. If enabled newly acquired planets that have less than 5 tiles of free space and are populated by non-citizen species will have some of them removed from their land, freeing up tiles and potentially creating refugees. So you can have like a standard core population on all the planets, probably as a xenophobe mostly. Governments and civics. Added Core V system civic gives 50% less resettlement cost. You can combine that so you have no resettlement cost left, which is pretty cool. So you can move freely all your people. That is very, very powerful. If you know the really old game Master of Orion 2, that was the way to win the game at any difficulty, guaranteed. Move your pops around. That was really cool. We'll see if that works here as well. Grow your pops and then move them around like mad. Added Feudal Realm Civic reduces penalty of relative power of subjects in half and allows them to colonize outside their borders. Aha! We'll see how that works. It's really cool that you can have a feudal realm. Now the holy space Roman Empire can be a reality. Added a unique government form for Devouring swarms. Oh, that's interesting. We'll see how that is. What that is. Added feudal empire and megachurch government forms. A megachurch. Oh, I love that. Now, not only spiritualists, like imperialists, but also a megachurch. Now the space pope can dominate the galaxy, right? The space pope. I think someone played space pope or something. Or there was a mod for that. I really think that guy brought the idea into the world. It's such a good idea. I know, it was on the... I have made a community Empires Let's Roleplay that is just running, and there is the Space Pope. So that guy is, for me now, responsible for that. Thank you for bringing that idea into the world. Buildings. Added new sacred nexus buildings for spiritualists with corresponding technology. What will that be? We'll see. More balance. Should we go for the balance? I'm really not into the balance that much. I think it's nice to have, but it's mostly for multiplayer. So, flattened impact of spaceports on naval capacity, so it is the same or higher in the early mid-game, but lower in the end game. Indeed. Yeah, Dyson Sphere and Science Nexus, massively buffed, but singular. So they are a real galaxy wonder, if you want that. And replaced leader skills modifier with leader max skills modifier, increases the maximum skill cap of leaders instead of simply increasing their base skills. Yeah, there's not only balance. You can have level 10 leaders now if you do it right. That is really, really cool, I think. Effects of food surplus and pop growth is now based on the number of planets that have growing biological populations rather than on the number of total pops in the Empire. So this is really really good for food fueling growth in the mid and late game. Yeah, and it's also more logical. Hard difficulty is now a bit easier. Well, then you just got to go for insane now. A very hard difficulty mode. That is roughly on par with the old hard mode. That is really cool. And reduced the output of power and food producing buildings, but made large planetary deposits of these types more common. That is cool because it's the minigame to build your planets well. And that is really fun if you do it right. It's, and it's also less thinking about it. It absolutely makes sense to do that way. So you have a clear thing to do. Otherwise, it was like really a mathematical thing. I've actually tried to get a grasp on that, and it is possible to get a grasp on that in the old system, but it's quite difficult. You cannot have a general rule. You have to basically calculate every planet. Now that is more straightforward. Remove the restrictions on interfering with sector planet buildings and pops. Can be re-enabled via a define. Oh, you can... I want to see how that plays out. Can you now directly build stuff in a sector? Removed influence cost for revoking systems from the sectors and deleting sectors. Oh, thank God. That was so annoying. Yeah, you misclicked and then you had to load or something. Really cool. So you can try out now where to go. Or remove what you don't need anymore. Rework the way ships target other ships to be more sticky, so disruptors do not immediately retarget once enemies' shields are down, etc. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's not only balance, that makes the game more logical. I think that's not only balance, that is really a better way to make that work. Major rebalancing to ship costs, yes. So, what is done there is basically that ships with more advanced components are now worthwhile instead of tons of basic ships like the naked corvette nerf. And that increases the power of your research empires a lot. Major rebalancing done to weapons to make more types of weapons useful in different situations. That's really cool. Missiles can now retarget if their target is lost after they are fired. Can retarget at least once and has a decreasing chance to retarget again after the first time. If you remember Master of Orion 2, you had to have a technology to have them retarget. And that was really cool. Without that technology, missiles were pretty crappy. But after that technology, missiles were pretty cool. And now this is a mix of it, which is good because it's not like missiles are crap or missiles are cool. It is like missiles are good all the way and not unbalanced. Which is very good. Habitability no longer caps happiness, instead reduces happiness for pops that have less than 100% habitability on their planet. That is something that is very cool because you can turn on other screws and make that really cool. It's better than that strict thing. So you can combat it. It's a more dynamic system, which is always more cool to play. Low habitability now also reduces pop resource output. Makes sense to punish that as well, or otherwise it would be abusable, so to say. Especially by hive minds, I think. The minimum habitability to colonize a planet is now 20% down from 40. Reduced number of habitable worlds in the galaxy by about 50% on default setting, but you can change the slider again, so no problem. Core sector are now governed by a single governor instead of one per planet, which is really a great relief. Also, though, it was also cool that you could train them there, but really this makes more sense. So you have the core also as a sector. Governors now boost all pop resource production in sectors they govern. That's back from like the first vanilla version where they boosted like happiness, and that kind of boosted resource production. But now it's a direct boost, and that's always better. Ascension perks have also been changed. Main thing there was that mega engineering is granted to you if you choose master builders. And that is very cool because you don't have to rely on the randomness anymore. Psionic and synthetic ascension paths now available to all ethics, but massive ethics attraction towards spiritist or materialist respectively. So you have you can choose it, but you have a problem there. And yeah, the rest is very deep, but should we go into that? Let's look. How much is there anymore? It's deep. It's really deep. It's crazy. Crazy deep. Let's look at the important things. There's a lot of changes, and most of them we've already seen in the dev diaries are good. There have been improvements to AI, which is really good. Wiz has said that major work was done to improve sector's performance, which is really a big thing to happen. They've added now special dialogues, special AI personalities, which is also really good. AI is generally better, which is why they added probably the next difficulty mode. Then user interface. Important terraforming candidates now show up in the expansion planner. I love user interface. User interface is one of my pet peeves. If a user interface is good, the game is so much more fun. Then expansion planner now displays and can be sorted the amount of strategic resources Betharians, alien pets present on a planet. Also pretty cool. Planet habitat outliner is now organized by which system planets are in and sorted by distance to capital. Now, I know I'm talking a lot about that old game, Master of Orion 2. I will make like a short series of, I think, episodes playing that game to show you why it is so interesting to have that played before. It is a cheap game now, can be run by DOSBox. It's still a great game. and it doesn't have crappy graphics either. So very interesting, and this is like a lot of changes that Stellaris now makes are adapting the user interface to that old game that is so popular because it had such a great user interface and also a freedom of creating species and stuff. It is very similar in giving you the freedom, so to say. So then important things about user modding. Implemented a system for dynamically swapping out traditions that do not suit certain empires. That's cool. Government authorities now support a localization postfix, allowing for custom renaming of technologies, policies, edicts, spaceport modules, buildings and strategic resources depending on the planets and the player's governing authority. Really cool. There's now a country customization system that lets you create customization options for countries, such as what garrisons and capital buildings they use. Oh, nice. And also, you can mod the voice packs, so you can finally have your own voice talking to you. Then I'm not going to go into that because I'm not an expert on that at all. Performance, that's something that interests me. Reduce lookups in the ship database done by checking if fleets are valid for combat. MISC optimizations to resource and modifier calculations. MISC optimizations to AI. I love that. Bug fixes. Look at that. Bug fixes. I don't even want to know which bugs were in the game. Wow. Such a lot of bug fixes. That makes me think that this is a great patch also for the bug fixes. And there are even more coming. Like, the patch is not yet live, which means there are maybe a couple more coming. So I really love that they fix bugs so reliably. The game has come so far. Like the first versions were really a little bit bug-ridden, which is normal for such a complex game. And now it gets better and better, really. Since I think 1.6 patch, I'm really happy with the game regarding bugs. And now it's really getting good. Let's look again at the Earth Custodian ship and the other nice portraits here. So which is your favorite portrait? Mine is probably that one. It's so fierce. It looks like exterminating everyone. I wonder if we would play rogue servitors, what should we take? These look like, I mean, not to take anything away, but this looks like the Terminator for me. Really looks like the Terminator. Maybe the Angel Bot would be nice. That is probably an avian, but the Angel Bot, like Evangelion or something, that would be cool. Or like these guys or these guys, they would also make for great rogue servitors. These guys, like, I'm helping you, no problem. Cheering up. Is that the mollusquid? I think so. Thank you for going through this with me together. It was rather a lengthy video, but I'm really hyped for that 1.8 Capek patch and the Synthetic Dawn. I hope you'll enjoy it too. And there will be a new Let's Play coming. I have talked about that only to Paradox and to a few friends. And it will be a continuation of a series that you already know. And if you know my series, then you probably know which one. So, thank you for watching. Happy gaming to you. Enjoy Synthetic Dawn. Enjoy life. Happy gaming to you. See you in one of the next episodes. Subscribe if you like to stay in contact. This is Immanuel Khan, signing out.